welcome to Sarah's Stampin' Retreat. Today we're going to be creating a fun card using these new fruit puff powders from Wow Embossing. So they look like embossing powders. You can see the colour goes a bit more pastel when they heat up, and they go quite dimensional, quite puffy when you heat them. So in the quad you get the banana puff, the watermelon puff, cucumber puff and the bilberry puff, and I thought we'd use those with this Wonky Heart Rainbow die from Paper Rose Studio today. So I'm going to grab some tape because for me this is the easiest way to emboss with these smaller pieces, and I'm popping it upside down on here, and then I'm going to add pieces that I want the same colour to it. So for example, I have both of these blue, and then I'm going to do all the hearts in pink. And then I have these pieces in yellow, and then this last piece in green. And this means that we've got something to hold while we emboss without touching this, because then, like for example here where I've held this with a pair of tweezers, you can see there's like a little white bit. I don't want that on my die cuts. And then normally I would dip these, I'd just turn them over and put them in my embossing ink pad, but I want a really nice coverage on them. So I'm going to use my Wow Mixed Media embossing brush, and it's got kind of almost like the type of brush you might have on, say, some nail polish or something like that. And I'm going to cover them with that, and that way I'm getting quite a thick covering of it because I want plenty of the powder to stick to it so that I get that nice puffy finish. And this is also easier for things like these little hearts. It would be harder to make sure each one was covered with embossing ink, putting them into the ink pad, whereas this is much easier. So then I can cover the hearts in the watermelon puff. Just tap off the excess like you would with normal embossing powder. You are obviously going to get some sticking to the tape, and you can see there are a few little bits where I'm missing a bit, so I'll go back and do that again afterwards. You can see now we've got these cute little puffy hearts. I'm just going to let that set for a second before I take it off the tape, otherwise I think I'm going to ruin it. And then where I've got these couple of tiny areas where that pink didn't go on properly, I'm just going to touch that up with a little bit more. So now I'm going to do the sentiment, so I'm going to heat emboss this happy birthday in white embossing powder. So let's put my card together. So I've got a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch card blank made from Tropical Punch cardstock from Spellbinders. Then I've got a piece of black cardstock 1/2 inch smaller than that. So this is 5 by 3 3/4 inches. And then this piece of white cardstock I've cut just 1/8 of an inch smaller than the black. And then I've just used this Dotted Swirls Debossing cover die from Altenew just to add a bit of texture to it. So then I'm going to add glue to the back of each of my pieces, and then I'm just going to build up my rainbow from the outside in, but I'm going to leave the hearts until last. So then all I've left to do is to add some foam tape behind my sentiment and add that on. So there's today's card finished. I really hope that you enjoyed creating it with me. Those puffy embossing powders really add some nice dimension to that rainbow. If you enjoyed today's card, I'd really appreciate you clicking like below, and you can also press subscribe if you'd like to see future videos. If you press the bell button and select all, then YouTube will also notify you when I've got a new video available. All of the products that I've used for today's card are listed in the description below, and there's also a link there to my blog where you can find a picture supply list if that helps you find what you're looking for. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope to see you again soon.